Welcome. I am Emma Leslie. I'm the Director of the Centre for Peace and Conflict Studies. This evening is a collaboration between Constable Gallery, between the Little Red Frocks and the Centre for Peace and Conflict Studies, kindly and generously supported by the Australian Embassy. It is an opportunity for us both to celebrate the Paris Peace Accord anniversary, but equally for us to share with you a little bit about our vision for something much bigger than what this exhibit is this year. We're dreaming of building a peace museum for Cambodia. Exactly in this moment, 25 years ago, the agreements which ended some decades of conflict in Cambodia were signed. It was far away in the colonial power of the French, but brought together, and some of you heard me say this last evening, brought together 18 countries from around the world, including many of the members of ASEAN today, Australia, but equally those superpowers, the United States, Russia and China. I believe it's the only national agreement in the world that has each of those superpowers sign on to the same agreement for peace. So it's a very significant agreement, and it's one of the many, many reasons that we think Cambodia is a fundamental learning centre for the world about peace, about reconstruction, development, reconciliation and healing. And I'm very proud tonight and humbled to stand in the presence of a group of men who represent the different factions that came together on that day. Represented here tonight, we have soldiers, former soldiers, who fought for the state of Cambodia. Maybe you can put your hand up. Bong Mok Bi Tahian Hun Sen Bong Noi. Nâng lực mấy tiết. Nâng mấy tiết Mok Bi Krom Khmer Krahom. This gentleman was a former Khmer Rouge soldier. And we have some of the KPNLF soldiers here, Tom Cheneret and Ngam, who we're going to hear from later. Unfortunately, we couldn't rally for you a Fun Sin Pek soldier this evening. But all of them together, through Metta Karuna Interfaith Centre, through the Jesuit Refugee Service, through the Centre for Peace and Conflict Studies and the Landmines Campaign, have been working together to end landmines, to stop cluster bombs, to collect weapons in Cambodia and to work for peace. So they are a testament to the spirit of why we stand here together this evening, and exactly the reason that the exhibit around the walls is called Resilience, and so beautifully documented by Tim Page. We want to start the evening both by our sponsor, but also by a woman who was around during a couple of years after that time, Ambassador Corcoran. Angela was here in 93 to 94 as part of a UNDP assignment. This is her first ambassadorial assignment after working for many years in Indonesia and in Australia in foreign affairs. But for us, very significant that her first assignment is in fact to Cambodia, and particularly on this 25th year anniversary, we're very happy that she chose this evening to be with us here in Siem Reap, the Centre of Creativity and Hospitality in Cambodia, but equally that Australia, who was so important in brokering that agreement, particularly through the efforts of Gareth Evans, can be a part of this evening. So thank you, Ambassador. Welcome.
Hello everyone, my name is Angela Corcoran, and as Emma just said, I'm the Australian Ambassador here in Cambodia. You've stolen most of my lines, I have to say. But so 25 years ago today, the Paris Peace Accords were signed. And this exhibition commemorates that anniversary. I'm really pleased to welcome you all here tonight to this exhibition of Resilience, which is, as you've all seen, an incredibly moving exhibition. And excuse me if I do get a little bit emotional, because it's a very, very emotional, I think, thing. So I guess what this exhibition shows is the rebuilding of a nation, helped by the international community, but really driven by the resilience of its people. Australia is very proud of our role in the Peace Accords. It was an Australian proposal that provided the framework for a comprehensive political settlement of the Cambodian conflict, ending discord that had marred the settlements previously tried to be negotiated, and proposing a role for the United Nations that was far broader than just peacekeeping. The UN Transitional Authority in Cambodia, UNTAC, would be responsible for monitoring and maintaining a ceasefire between all of the warring factions, for organising and conducting elections, and for supporting the development of a fledgling Cambodian public service. It was the first time that an entire country had been placed under the authority of the United Nations. We're very proud to have a number of Tim's photographs hanging on the walls of our embassy. Even on the most difficult of days, they help us place our day-to-day work in context. They, and the photos that you'll see here tonight, also bring back a lot of memories for me. As Emma's just said, I was in Cambodia in 1993 and 1994 during the UNTAC era, and I was working with the UN Development Programme. I've got so many vivid memories of that time, of crowds waving UN flags as they voted for the first time, full of optimism. Many of them voting on the day had never voted before. A life-changing moment, but something that we in Australia take for granted, as I tell my daughter frequently. I remember all-night curfews, playing poker with the UN Special Representative's aide-de-camp, listening to the UN radio's crackle as ballot papers were taken from remote polling stations back to be counted. But it wasn't all uplifting moments and expat fun and games for us there at the time. I remember being in Siem Reap and being told by the staff at the hotel I was staying in to get under the bed because of incoming firing from Khmer Rouge. I remember being in Battambang when a landmine exploded on the banks of the river, killing a young boy and his buffalo. I never remember feeling like that before or again. But with a strong Australian contingent in Cambodia at the time, I was by no means a rarity. We followed up our role in negotiating the Paris Peace Accords by strong support for the UNTAC mission. The head of UNTAC's military component was an Australian, Lieutenant General John Sanderson. 1,215 Australian servicemen and women served alongside him. A team of electoral experts from the Australian Electoral Commission led the UNTAC electoral unit. Australians from the Australian Federal Police helped maintain law and order and trained their Cambodian counterparts. And numerous Australian volunteers and fellow development workers, some of whom are still here today, provided vital services and capacity building. All of this demonstrated Australia's commitment to being a positive contributor to peace and stability in our region. We've continued to honour that commitment over the past 25 years, and we've worked closely with the Government of Cambodia, civil society, the Cambodian people and the international community to support peace, development and democracy in Cambodia, including as a leading contributor to the Khmer Rouge Tribunal. Our support for demining goes back to 1994, and in the last 10 years we have released over 185 square kilometres of previously mined land for use by Cambodians. Our aid program in Cambodia is our 7th largest bilateral aid program, and we are the 5th largest donor to Cambodia. But most importantly, the bonds of friendships that we developed during the UNTAC years have endured, have strengthened and evolved. There remains a great interest amongst Australians about Cambodia. Over 100,000 Australians visit Cambodia every year. We have over 1,000 Cambodians studying in Australia at the moment. And next year, Cambodia will be the 5th most popular destination for young Australians studying under the government's new Colombo plan to visit Cambodia. We will have over 440 students coming here. There's also numerous private sector companies working here. I meet with them regularly, and we'd like to see that continue to grow. I guess in essence, our engager now is broader than ever and represents a normal bilateral relationship which would have been difficult to imagine 20-something years ago. Anyway, the photos here show the incredible spirit of the Cambodian people who, regardless of the traumas they've experienced and the challenges still facing them, have not allowed their history to become their future. They remind us of how far Cambodia has come and that there's still more to do. True to name, this exhibition highlights the resilience of post-conflict Cambodia. Looking at these photos fills me with hope for Cambodia's future. To have been in Cambodia when some of them was taken was an amazing experience. I never imagined that I'd return here, let alone to represent my country as ambassador. To do so on the anniversary of the Paris Peace Agreements and to open this exhibition is a rare privilege. Congratulations, Emma. and your team at the Centre for Peace and Conflict Studies, and to Sasha and the team at the gallery. I'm just so very pleased to be here tonight. Thank you.
Part of tonight is to remind you that this is towards a vision of something much bigger, much more exciting and much more permanent than this exhibit tonight. It is to build a Cambodia Peace Museum, and I want to invite Sotplai Ngam, the visionary of that museum, to come and share a little. Ngam, of course, like most Cambodians, is a survivor of the Khmer Rouge time, but also was a soldier in the Khmer People's National Liberation Front for 13 years, and went on to work with the Cambodia Development Resource Institute and the first Cambodian Centre for Conflict Resolution, and he's going to share a little about the vision tonight.
Thank you. Excellency, ladies, gentlemen, friends who are here today, I feel very honored to stand here to share with you my perspective why Peace Museum is very important for Cambodia. I must say that I've been a survivor of Khmer Rouge and been a young soldiers, fight, injured, hospitalized, fight against, and then all this experience is a part of the teenager's life that I lost. It's not my choice. Sometimes people don't have a choice. We just have to survive when there's the chance to do anything and to survive. But after this experience has ended, then it's become my choice, because after the war, when the peace comes, I can begin to choose the life that I want to live. And the thing that can inspire me more is to reflect to my experience and to do something for my children and younger generations after me. And so that's why I become a peace worker since the beginning of the peace, and after the peace agreement, since the UN came, I was trying to reflect and wondering, because all those experience and keep me pile of questions that I cannot answer. And I've been studying very hard, trying to understand how we can make a deep, a real reconciliation for Cambodia. That's the things that we spend so much time looking at it, observe it, and try to understand how to do it. And actually, if I observe experience around the world, it's nothing that we can do in the complete process of all elements of reconciliation and healing, because it's a massive work, because we have to look between peace and justice, and again dealing with the memory and the healing itself, a very deep, and the memories, dealing with memory is a risky mission. As a peace builder, we know that it's not easy to just tamper with the memory. It's the same as the virus of violence and war that occupies us, and if we cannot know how to turn it into a vaccine that can prevent what will happen in the future, and those viruses will come back again, and we will repeat our mistake again, and we will continue to kill. We know that in our experience as human beings, all measures have been trying, that so far we cannot even stop that massacre and genocide from happening. The only thing that I believe is learning, only learning that can have prevented. And the proof in itself, if we learn, we not repeat our mistake. And if we do not learn, we always repeat our mistake. That's why Peace Museum is very important, because we need to fertilize between the population, because we as human beings is part of the nature. with a field of diversity of flower with different colors. When the walls come across, it damages all this, and the flower cannot be just kind of, you can't just like cover the track, but you need to fertilize to make it be alive again. And so that's why the cooperation, the support, and the idea and everything, it's very important to fertilize this Peace Museum, and the idea that also for me very important that I also observe and study around the world. There are many different unique conflict and war, but the thing that come in common is the narrative that we can bring the positive and constructive narrative out of it, and in the hope that they become the motivation for the society, hope and futures. That's how many countries come over and strive again, because we collect all this negative, positive energy and then constructive narrative. And the best way to capture the memory is by pictures and image. But the best use of it, including we can turn that into a positive narrative. That's why Cambodia is very important, that we know we still suffer, we still going through a lot of suffering from the way that we used to, the cultures, but also a lot of good things that can happen. We don't need to forget that. We have to raise it up. And as the idea is kind of big dreaming, some would say that don't afraid to dream big, but it is a say and done. For me, it's the biggest dream I ever tried in my life, and it takes very long time. Come from the very high patience, enthusiasm, and then lower as the years pass. But I'm sure I can sustain that patience and enthusiasm if I can live longer than 100 years. But fortunately, I have a closest friend and a soulmate, and also as my wife, Emma. She's rock solid. And when I go down, kind of see how can make this happen. She will come and shake me up that, come on, let's keep going. And I also can see that she not only work for Cambodia, she work in the region, and her passion and commitment and devotion for the humanity is anything that I've been lucky to be a part and support the work that she does, and also I also live in that myself for the things that I'm doing here. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Second, I'm very proud to introduce tonight a dear friend of ours, Tun Chanaret. He is a tireless campaigner against landmines and now cluster bombs. He also is a Khmer National People's Liberation Front former soldier. He lost both of his legs in a landmine accident. And the reason that he is so sexy and gorgeous is because he received the Nobel Peace Prize on behalf of the entire international campaign to ban landmines. So you can Google him and see him all over the world.
Good afternoon, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm really proud and this evening. You know, today I'm 56, nearly 57 years old. I never seen peace in my life. I tell you true, I'm really proud in my heart. My tears start to come, so hard for me to talk. How many Cambodian people here? Can you tell me? How many Cambodian people here? Because everyone are foreigner, Why Cambodia not joins, Where is the peace? I feel proud because this is the first time for me that friend of mine start to build museum for peace. After Pol Pot regime, during Pol Pot regime, I lost my father, my youngest sister, my neighbor disappeared. 1979 coming, I escaped to Cambodian-Thailand border. Today I still refugee. Today I still refugee, I tell you. Along Cambodian-Thailand border, I become a soldier. I stood on anti-personal landmine. United Nations doesn't support men. They support just only for women, but we try our best. I try with my life to get better. 1993, repatriation. United Nations make announcement, all the refugees in the camp. Repatriation back to Cambodia. I don't want, but I must. I must, you know. I don't want to return, but I must. If I'm not, who will stay in my house? Who will stay in my country? So sad, so sad. And that time, 1 minute, one explosion, we don't know exactly army or civilian people, adult or old or children people, we don't know. But 1 minute, one explosion. How many more that we need? We need to ban. We need to stop. All explosion, we need to clean. We need to clean at territory. Today, I'm really proud because Nga, Bonga, Eva, all of them joined with ban anti-personal landmine, the first in Cambodia. The second big ban around the world until from 1994 until 1997. She said, we are successful for to ban anti-personal landmines. But jobs still continue because landmine ban, but suffering people who support it. Who support it? You know, many jobs that we need to continue, many jobs that we need to provide for people with disability or suffering people. Landmine today, 165 countries already banned, total banned and ratified. But another thing, cluster munition, today just only 106 countries that they start to support, they support to ban. But access, where? Who will provide to them? Very less, very less. And I really tell you true. My government too slow. I really upset, I tell you true. But before I continue, I would like to say thank to everyone here. You have so many nations here that we try to push, you try to help, you try to support, to encourage Cambodians to give good developing for Cambodians. Thanks so much. But before, nothing. France, US, China, Russia, they said they would like to develop, but they destroy our country. But never mind, because right now we have new face come and still help and encourage my country. Don't forget my speech today. Please keep continue because we still have so many jobs to do inside Cambodia and other. Because today we got Israel, Iraq, Iran, and the country still bombing, cluster munition, landmines still lay and play and drop or bombing and everywhere. So I tell you true, we need peace for our globe. We need peace for our globe. I don't know exactly how many kids that you have in your family, but I don't want your kid become like me. I don't want your kid become like my friend. I don't want your country got suffer like Cambodia. I tell you true. Big thanks to everyone. Please keep continue, because not just for her, not just for she, not just for me, and not just for Nam. We need all together to build a good solidarity to push the peace board until the end, until our global really clean for our new generation run and play freely. Thank you so much.
Last but not least, of the 100 most influential photographers in the world, Tim Page is one of them. He hails from England, but I think travelled to every conflict zone on the way to where he now settled in Brisbane as a professor at Griffith University. You have seen him in documentaries, you've seen other people play the role of him in films, and of course, standing hung right behind me is one of the most iconic photos that he produced, which told the story of the Montag time and the people of Cambodia. So it's my great honor for us to end this evening by listening to some stories of Tim Page and his journey together with the Cambodian people. Thank you, Tim.
It's a real pleasure and honor to be here to celebrate the opening of something which I think is very, very important. Most Cambodians don't know their modern history. It's been misconstrued to them, it's been misrepresented to them, and there's been downright lies. For the first time, they're going to have a museum, a gallery, which tells them the truth about what happened after this country was re-liberated. And that period, for the Untitled period, was quite remarkable. To be here, one moment you couldn't drive 20 clicks from Phnom Penh, the next week the roads opened to Battambang, to Siem Reap, to Kampong Tom, to Kratchit, to wherever. They were guarded by strange units of Uruguayan Marines, Indians, French paratroopers, Australians who were doing the commos, and put in the first telephone system. Telstra, excuse me. We made a good profit on that one. But it was run by the SAS and it was really efficient. There were like 56 countries here from, shall we say, the bottom of the heap, the Bulgarians who wanted to export live animals and rare breeds, to Thais who had the road secured from the border to Sisyphon. So their trucks rolled in full of these umbrellas, and they must have brought in 3 million of these umbrellas, the Thais. And then from there it was taken over by Malays who took the trains further down to Pasat, and then they passed them on to Bengalis and Bulgarians who took them the rest of the way to Phnom Penh. And then upriver steamed 3 big launches right the way through the rapids up the Mekong River to Stung Treng, with 400 people on each boat, guarded by Indonesians, Kiwis, Aussies, British Marines, Chileans, hello, and Filipino dentists. And it was, I have never seen such a mix of people creating peace. It was an incredible thing to be able to be part of that, to be accepted as part of that. And the images are still there. Maybe this is one of those few times that we can say, a bit like the Vietnam War, that photography has made a difference. I photographed back in '91 the opening of the King Klein Disability Clinic in Phnom Penh, run by Vietnam veterans. That same weekend it was on the Washington Post front page, and $135,000 was donated to the clinic. We can make a difference. But more importantly, the difference is going to be for the next generation, as you were talking about, who don't understand their immediate history. They don't understand the issue of the landmines, they don't understand the issue of UXOs or UXBs. And to be able to give them this, to give them that experience, it's a real privilege as a photographer to be able to give these images in perpetuity so that the next generations can learn. I mean, I come from an old-fashioned Jurassic Park kind of attitude, and I think one picture is worth 1,000,000 words. Is it worth 1,000,000,000 pixels? We're not going to get into that one. That's too complex. But I'd like to extend my thanks to Emma for putting it on, Sash for putting the gallery together, my better half for basically doing all the nasty computer work